Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann. With me here today is
JD.
What is up?
Hi.
It's our Star Wars Day episode on the show. And I brought in a Star Wars nerd to enjoy it with me.
That's me.
That's him, because I'm not. I'm really not. I just like, it's topical. We'll do that. Because I've got a few odd, weird Star Wars stories that relate to all this. So, first off, it's May the 4th. And fun fact, Star Wars Day, the first official one, was on May 4th, 2011.
I actually forgot that it was May the 4th last night. I was working. I didn't even know the entire night until somebody told me.
And then you had like a panic that you weren't...
Not really, no, because every day is Star Wars Day for me, so it just doesn't really matter, you know?
But what if somebody else would have called you out on it and checked your nerd card right there?
Well, I think that it's less cool to just have one day for Star Wars. I think it should be every day.
Apparently tomorrow's Revenge of the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's a thing, too.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So, first and foremost, Star Wars for me, originally, when I was a kid, most of them were on cable, because we had cable. And I didn't really realize, like, the cultural significance of what I was watching, but I watched them anyway. Mainly, I'm like, oh, those fucking Ewoks are cool, because I was a kid, so I was right in that key demographic for the third one. So nothing really hooked me in too deep, because growing up, I was more into Star Trek Next Generation.
I'm into that right now, actually. The past couple years, I've been watching Star Trek pretty hardcore.
Yeah, clear your schedule for a decade, because there's 264 episodes or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I got through all of Next Gen. I got through all of it.
Jesus.
I know I'm trying. Yeah, I know I'm trying to do Voyager, and it's just not working for me that much. I'm starting to be a Trekkie, though. Did you know those Ewoks are played by 5-year-olds and midgets? Like a combination of both?
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I mean, how great is that?
Well, I mean, you use what you can get. So then my next experience, and this will tie in with you, is when Phantom Menace came out.
Yeah.
And you said that was your favorite.
Yes. Everybody actually, that's like everybody's least favorite. I got, one of the people I work with is a humongous Star Wars nerd, and episode 1 on his list is like second to the last, with Attack of the Clones being the last. I mean, they both kind of suck. I'm going to be honest, Phantom Menace does have the whole... have you seen it? You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
The acting's atrocious.
It is.
At parts of it. But I just like the nostalgia of it, because when I watch it, I'm 10 again, you know, living at my parents' house and just having a ton of fun, staying up late watching it, playing with toy lightsabers. That's why I like the nostalgia.
And then 13 and jerking off to pod races.
Was that your experience?
No, my experience involved, because I was in high school when that came out.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, like 6 of us all decided we were going to go to the midnight showing.
Yeah.
When it first came out.
Was it disappointing for you guys, or?
We showed up, and there were some people in costume, and we weren't, because I wasn't a huge nerd about it. And we got there, and we sat down, and we waited forever for the fucking movie to start, because you had to get there way early to get decent seats.
Yeah.
We were sitting top row.
Yeah. Was this like the day that it came out? Or,
yes.
Oh, the midnight showing. Okay.
Yes,
all
we
right.
sprinted through the theater and said, fuck the concessions, we're getting the top row, and we did.
Good.
And I think we got about a half an hour into the movie, and the goddamn reel broke.
That happened to me for episode 3. That's exactly what happened. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe they're just replaying the same reel so many times it just breaks.
Yeah, I don't know. And we sat there waiting for a good 10, 15 minutes, and they finally got it going again.
Yeah.
And we watched maybe another 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And the fucking film broke. It broke. And we're talking, we sat there for a half an hour while they tried to figure out what they were going to do.
They give you a refund or what?
No, they gave everybody $5 in free concessions.
Oh, come on.
Which times 200 people.
I mean, that's a lot, but what does $5 get you at the movie? I mean, I don't know back then. Maybe the prices were different, but I mean, $5 today that doesn't get you
now.
Anything.
Yes. Yeah. Here's the clincher. It was a school night.
Oh, really?
So they restarted a second reel of the movie. We had to start from the beginning. They, for some reason, couldn't fast forward. So we sat through the first 50 minutes of it again.
Oh.
Which sucked, because I was already pissed off. I'm like, well, fuck this movie. I'm already not having a good time. I guess I'm going to double hate it now.
Yeah.
And then I left. Like, I don't care.
Did you left midway through the movie then?
Oh, no, I stayed to the bitter
stayed.
end.
Okay.
I think I dozed off a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Jar Jar for inspiring me to care little enough to take a nap during the movie.
He's the worst thing that ever happened to Star Wars. My uncle actually brought me to episode 2, Attack of the Clones. While we're watching it, I start hearing snoring, and I look over, and he's just leaned back in his chair, dozed off, snoring pretty loud. Everybody can hear him. It was pretty embarrassing.
Did you pinch his nose or something?
No, I just kind of let it be because I was so into the movie.
Nice. It's like, fuck it. I'm going to do my thing.
Mm-hmm.
My personal favorite is Empire.
That's everybody's favorite. Everyone's favorite's episode 5. It's definitely on top there.
There's drama.
You
don't know what's going to happen with Han. There's the big Luke, Vader father reveal.
Yeah.
He loses a hand. Everything ends on a, oh no, what's going to happen now?
Yeah. Leaves you wanting to see episode 6.
So I asked around. I put out a mass text today of friends to see what their favorites were.
Okay.
And right off the bat, the first reply I get is Big Mark. Big Mark's the guy that did the episode about getting his gastric bypass surgery.
Okay.
He says, I don't like Star Wars movies. I'm like, we are off to a good start.
At least he's being blunt. I mean, he could have just not texted you back. At least he gave you a reply.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 12 replies out of like 20 people I sent it to.
Okay.
With, you said Phantom Menace.
Yep. I'm likely the only person that said that. And I'm okay with that.
A friend of mine said Phantom Menace.
Wow.
Dr. Murr said, whichever one had that Cantina song in it. So, New Hope. Number 1 fan Tim said episode 4, and 1, 2, and 3 can suck his balls. Mrs. Number 1 fan said the one with the Ewoks because Wicked is her favorite.
Okay.
Nurse Ashley, being the ever-present Darlene that she is, said, never saw any of them. Like, fuck you.
I've met a couple people that have never seen Star Wars, and I just have to accept that they're completely sheltered and don't know anything about life.
Oh, Reese Hartfeld said never saw any of them. I'm like,
goodness.
Jesus, well, you're 22, so maybe that's why. My friend Bryce said Attack of the Clones. Oddly enough.
That is... I'm wondering why he liked it. I would ask him that. I mean, it's great. Like, the fight scenes are great.
Well, he said that the setup for the war...
Okay.
You see how all of that goes, and then the war starts, and then you see Yoda's lightsaber fight, and he called it godlike, because it was zipping all over the fucking place.
But the lines in that movie are horrible. Like, Anakin, I don't like sand, it gets everywhere. Have you seen that part?
I've seen the movie, but I haven't.
He talks about sand and how much he doesn't like it, and it's a big part of the movie that everybody makes fun of.
I'm sure they could just edit that out in a re-release.
I hope.
They're big on that.
I really hope they would do that.
My tall friend Aaron said Empire. He didn't give me a reason why, but other Neil also said Empire because he liked the dark tone.
Mm-hmm.
The battle for Hoth. And Lunchbox, the other half of genre treason with Reese Hartfeld. Lunchbox says this, the one where Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum save us from an alien invasion. I had to tell him, like, dude, that's not Star Wars. You're talking about Lord of the Flies. Wait, what? Welcome to planet Earth. So around the time that Phantom Menace came out, it was such a mega social monument that, like, working at Target was where I was employed at the time.
Oh, really?
So we got all the toys first.
Yeah.
So I bought some action figures.
Do you still have them?
Yeah, they're at my parents' house.
Oh, you should keep them.
I have, like, Mace Windu and Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Whatever. I've got Taken, and I've got reach into that bag and pull out my wallet. It's one that says badass motherfucker on it. I got those two guys.
That guy.
And then I got a Yoda, and I think I got an R2 and a Chewie.
Okay.
I didn't get too into it.
Yeah.
It was a waste of money. Were you ever a fan of Star Wars games?
Of course. Yes. Half of my life was dedicated to Star Wars games, just sitting down and playing them. Battlefront, Knights of the Old... Have you played Knights of the Old Republic?
I've seen it.
Knights of the Old Republic won Game of the Year. Hands down, number one, my favorite game that was ever created on this planet.
Ever created on this planet.
Created.
Jesus Christ.
It's amazing, yes.
Well, I mean, I guess I can't top that, but I will say that on PS2, I played the shit out of those Lego Star Wars games.
Yeah.
I thought those were great. They were fun. They brought me back to the story, but I didn't play them as much or feel as strongly about them as you do, as what you just said with Knights of the Old Republic. But Star Wars Battlefront,
Very popular.
I have a story. I knew a guy. I had a friend named Ryan
Yeah.
who played Battlefront. He
Not
got
anymore,
so
like,
into it.
You guys like aren't friends anymore?
Well,
Had-
I don't
had-
talk to him. I
Yeah.
call him an acquaintance.
Okay. So you downgraded from friend to acquaintance.
Well, he moved away. He got married, and nobody ever sees him.
I see. Okay, go on. Sorry.
Ryan took out a second account and pretended to be a girl and used some other chick's picture so that he could pretend to be a girl playing the game so that guys would try to get with him, so they'd give him items, thinking he was a chick. He was catfishing motherfuckers to get free items in the game.
It works. It honestly does. I've seen it happen before.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But this is also a guy that once upon a time, people showed up to hang out, and just for no good reason, he was trying out wearing eyeliner.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I remember in high school there was a couple guys. I remember a dude that was 1 year ahead of me that would wear eyeliner. His girlfriend was helping him put eyeliner on his eyes, except it wasn't eyeliner, it was a ballpoint pen, and I don't know why to this day.
That sounds painful.
Yeah, I know. I didn't understand it, but yeah, that's what he wanted. He was asking her to do it. And it was a side note. Sorry, I just had a memory.
Did nobody have a dry erase marker handy?
I apparently not. This guy just wasn't thinking ahead.
Jesus. Well, like I was saying, Lego Star Wars was my main Star Wars game.
Yeah.
But back in the day, I have a story about Super Star Wars, the ones that were on Super Nintendo,
All right.
just because of the age gap here.
Yes.
So, me and Neil, once upon a time ago at his house, went to Blockbuster and rented 2 out of the 3 Super Star Wars games.
Okay.
And something on Super Empire pissed him off so bad that he wanted to break the game, but it wasn't his game. He just wanted to whip it across the basement against the wall. He was so pissed we couldn't beat this part. So he's like, you know what? Fuck this game. We're done playing it. He takes it out of the Nintendo. He goes on the other side of this bed sheet that divided the basement for him and his brother. And I see the silhouette of him dropping trow, and he credit cards his own ass crack with the contact part of the game. And then he puts it back in the Blockbuster case and goes, let the next person find out how shitty this game is.
How old is he?
I think we were like 13 or 14.
Oh my goodness, he handles his anger so well. At least we know that.
Hey, I'd just like to point out that at such a young age, we already knew how to get back at people and shitty things by utilizing our butts.
I don't even know how you're getting back at anybody with that.
And I didn't need to make sense. We were in
It made him
junior
feel
high.
better. Yeah, it made him feel better.
Well, the next person to maybe take the game back at Blockbuster has to clean it, so they're touching this thing that was up his ass crack.
Oh my goodness. You likely caused some kid some pink eye down the road.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Some poor kid.
And I tried to get him on tonight to talk about that, but
Yeah.
he's streaming and playing online poker tonight. And he's like, I can't. I gotta play poker. I'm streaming. I'm like, you fucking
What, like
dick.
on Twitch or something like that?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
He does that. His handle on there is like Pyro Chaos something fucking, I don't know.
Do they play for real money?
Yes.
They do?
Yes.
Does he win real money?
Sometimes.
Sometimes? How much real money are we talking about here?
I'm not like keeping books on him.
Well, like guesstimation.
Not as much as he makes playing it in real life when he goes. I mean, because he won a tournament and won $14,000 a year ago.
Jeez. Okay.
Right. And he didn't have to do anything dirty with his mouth to get that money. Nobody put any fingers in anybody for that.
The same thing, Twitch, if you're a pretty female and you play a video game and stream live on there, people, apparently you can donate money on these games, or on these sites. You can donate whatever funds, and the pretty girls get all the money.
There's no nudity, though.
That's the best, not the best part, but I mean, that's the best part for them. They don't have to do anything. They just have to play a video game and look pretty.
So they could just wear like a skimpy bikini top.
And that's what they do, yeah. And then they make a ton of money doing it.
That's
unfair.
It is unfair.
It is, yeah.
I can't just put an eye patch over my dork and show off an inch of neck. Like just cover the tip and then show a little bit of shaft.
Yeah.
I suppose I could put like a sock on it.
You could on like chat roulette or something like that. I bet someone would.
Yeah, no. Chat roulette is probably 99.9% dudes jacking off, hoping they're going to find the one chick that's online.
We should make a chat roulette episode in the future.
That does not. Why? Do you have some experience with that?
When I was young, I tried it, and I figured out the horrors of chat roulette.
Nobody told you? Nobody warned you?
Nobody told me, and I was just like, oh, this looks fun. And for the next, hour, I'm like, and just screaming. Yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Were those screams of terror or ecstasy? Because right there, I couldn't tell.
Only I'll know.
Okay. It's like you were gasping for breath and you were gacking all over your keyboard. Other Star Wars related media that I am fond of, and I came up with a top 5.
Okay.
The Family Guy Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah, what was it, Blue Harvest?
Yes.
Oh, those are surprisingly very good.
Yes.
Yeah, hilarious.
And, people had lampooned Star Wars before, but not to that degree.
No.
To nail the entire original trilogy.
Yeah. It's impressive, honestly.
Governor Tarkin, I recognized your foul stench as soon as I was brought on board.
Actually, that's me. I made a Darth duty. I sithed my pants. My diaper's gone over to the dark side. I got pages of these. I could go on.
Which takes me to number 2, and that's Spaceballs.
Yeah, very popular.
Which, I'm going to hurt your feelings here. I like that better than I like any Star Wars movie.
That's okay. I've heard that before.
Who is he?
He's an asshole, sir.
I know that. What's his name?
That is his name, sir. Asshole. Major asshole.
It's funnier, and it's just, I connect better with those characters than I do with all that serious...
you relate better to those
quasi-religious crap going on in the background with the Force.
Yeah.
Number 3 is the Robot Chicken Star Wars special.
Very good.
It took, it wasn't following the source material. It was just other shit that could be going on with these characters. And that's what I liked, is that Seth Green took it completely into a different realm and kept it very humorous.
Like Boba Fett, closet homosexual.
Yes.
Who's attracted to Han Solo. That was amazing.
I wish I could watch that right now to celebrate the holiday. Number 4, here's an odd turn, Rogue One.
What did you think of it?
I liked it better than I liked Force Awakens.
Okay. Why?
Because it didn't suck.
I mean, in what way did it not suck?
Basically, you got the complete story arc. I liked the movie. What made me like it even more is when I went online and just randomly I'm on YouTube and I see Cinema Sins, Honest Trailers, Rogue One.
Great.
And I watched it. I'm like, wow, that
channel.
Is perfect. He's like, meet a ragtag band of heroes that you probably shouldn't get emotionally attached to. So that made me appreciate it more. Just everybody died. It was tragic. They did something. It was beneficial. It really drove the story and bridged the gap. It made me have to go online and look at the timeline of the whole fucking Star Wars movies.
You need the
universe.
Timeline? You need to know the timeline of Rogue One?
The time where it fit in the timeline of everything.
Yeah.
I get at the end that it goes right into
right in episode
4.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how many years are going by in all of this?
Yeah.
But basically, I found myself Googling timelines trying to figure out where it fell, and it was, I think, 19 years after episode 3. Mm-hmm. At that point, the Empire had been in power for 32 years.
Yeah. It was partially at its peak.
So now I'm just waiting for the Han Solo standalone to see how that's going to be.
Supposed to have one of those. They were supposed to make a Boba Fett movie, and the main actor was supposed to be black, from what I was told.
Okay.
A lot of controversy surrounding that too.
Because he's black?
Yes.
Was he black?
No.
Wasn't he Latino?
Have you seen episode 2?
Yeah, but not for ever.
Not for ever. He's my color. He's like a cappuccino.
Well, yeah, it's like some kind of Latino. I thought he was brown. He didn't look Asian-y.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if they're going to retcon that and make him a black, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, if they're but then there's someone else that was saying no, it's just some guy that found the armor and became Boba Fett. I don't know, like James Bond. How there's a new James Bond every other year.
Oh, so we're just ignoring the fact that eventually James Bond's going to be like a black lesbian woman.
Yeah,
we're going to go. Oh no, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
We got a Jamie Bond. Have you seen Revenge of the Nerds?
a long time ago. I don't remember anything about it, though.
This is why it ranks on my top 5.
Okay.
There's a scene in that movie, if you recall. There's a carnival. All the Greek sororities and fraternities. There's a carnival at campus on Adams College.
Okay.
And there's a fun house. And the main nerd, Louis Skolnick, is dressed as Darth Vader for some costume contest.
Yeah.
And he tricks Betty, who is the girlfriend of the main jock, Stan, into meeting him in there. And they're in this, like, I don't know, this fucking moon bounce room with all this mood lighting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many people have sat down to legitimize this. Louis Skolnick dresses as Darth Vader so he can trick a woman into having sex. So one of the funniest scenes of that movie is somebody committing a rape. He's hiding his identity. He's fucking this chick who apparently can't tell a difference between her muscular boyfriend and then this hairy, out-of-shape, nerdy guy and his unexperienced penis probably going off right away. Just, oh, yeah, no, he just shakes his head. She's like, let's take off the helmet. Shakes his head. No. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't talk. So she still thinks it's Stan.
Yeah.
The man rapes her.
Was it like a 30-second deal, or?
Well, yeah, it's not like they did an after-school special about her being victimized.
Okay.
No, it was just like he fucked her and, haha, I fucked your girlfriend. That was the 80s. It was a different time.
True.
Everything was a lot less complicated back then. It was like, oh my God, you had sex with my girlfriend. You're a fucker. I'm going to beat your ass. And then later on down the Nerds trilogy, he's married to that girl.
Oh, really?
So apparently just sinking the sausage right there without her knowing it. You can rape a woman and she will fall in love with you.
Wow.
That was the message I got out of that. Whether intended or unintended.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and this will make number one fan Tim's heart sore, is even more than Next Generation, I've always been very fond of Firefly. Serenity.
I haven't seen Serenity, but I did watch Firefly. I think it was sometime last year. I forced myself to watch all of them.
You forced yourself?
Yeah, it was okay. I liked it. I mean, I was getting into it. A different one that I really liked. Man, what was that show called? Yeah, I'm going to think
Farscape? Was it?
It was Far. Yes, that was Farscape.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
No. Just like I didn't watch Babylon 5.
Okay. Farscape was. I got through about 3 seasons of that, and then Netflix took it off. I actually really liked it. I think they put Firefly back on. But Firefly was good. I'm not saying it's bad.
Okay, because he might have been like, fuck this guy. Number one fan Tim would have been listening to this in his truck at work going, what the fuck? And other people that might hear this, all 3 of them, would be like, why the fuck are we talking about Firefly? I thought it was Star Wars Day. Because I'm not that into Star Wars.
We're talking, it's a sci-fi episode. A sci-fi.
Okay. Well, here's the last relatable Star Wars story I have. My nerdy friend Matt. He was one of the guys that went with me to the midnight showing of Phantom Menace.
Okay.
He was a big Star Wars guy.
Mm-hmm.
He bought Stormtrooper armor. Like $500 he spent on it.
Oh my goodness.
A decade later, he sold it for $500.
He didn't even... Really?
I don't know. I don't
Wow.
fucking know. But I just know that once upon a time ago, when I got a video camera for my birthday when I was like 22, we filmed him in that, doing some stuff, like Showplace.
Yeah.
We went up to Showplace and he's walking around with this little zapper gun, pointing it at the camera, not saying shit. And somebody drives by and honks. And he's like, civilian, I need you to back away. I'm like, well, let's roll with this. So then we're driving around with him in the passenger seat in the Stormtrooper armor, filming people's reactions. And then we went to the Northtown Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And he went inside to order his food. And they're like, for here to go. He's like, to go. I'm actually leaving the planet very shortly. Yeah, we had some adventures with him in that Stormtrooper armor. But God, we fucking nagged him incessantly about paying $500 for that shit.
That's a lot. That's a sizable amount of money to be putting down on a costume that you're going to be wearing once a year.
It was not the greatest. It was a pretty decent costume, but
Yeah.
I mean, for cosplay, I guess $500 is not bad. But the fact that he bought it way back in 2003.
Yeah. And then sold it for the same amount 10 years later, you think that maybe you'd get a little bit more out of it.
Well, whatever. He was just happy to recoup the cost.
I would have waited for one of the Star Wars movies to come out and then sold it then when it's really popular.
I think
Raise
he
the
was
price a
just
little bit.
he was just trying to make some
Quick money.
space and get the money back that he spent on the fucker so he could buy some more Initial D silk screen posters to hang on his goddamn bedroom wall.
Does he have any other Star Wars memorabilia or nerd items?
Oh, nothing like that.
No, like lightsabers or something that you could just walk around and wave around?
They had like original run Star Wars figures, a few of them still laying around at his dad's house somewhere,
Okay.
but they couldn't find out where they were because him and his brothers don't talk to their dad. Yeah, so, I mean, the Juice, she's interested in it. We'll go to the store, but then she's like, oh, give me one of those light swords. I'm like, it's called a lightsaber, and no, I told you, weapons aren't toys. They want to fucking have a sword fight in the middle of Target with that shit.
I will go through the toy section of Target or Walmart looking at Star Wars toys. I still do it. I don't care. I'll bring my child with me and pretend I'm looking with her.
She's young enough, she doesn't know.
Yeah, no, of course she doesn't. That's why I'm there.
Well, I
So I
almost
can look at
got
it.
talked into buying a Chewbacca backpack for the Juice,
Oh, really?
but it was like furry.
Yeah, yeah.
It had like dog hair coming off of it.
Did it have any space inside of it?
Yeah,
Really?
it was a full-size backpack that had fur on it to look like a Chewbacca face and body.
Okay.
The downside was I told her, I'm like, you get lice too much. You can't have this. You're just going to fucking truck around dirt and bugs and germs. And no, you can't. Here's this nice $5 Hello Kitty one on clearance. Fucking buy it.
Where in the world do these children find lice? I mean, it's just like they just pass it around at school. Like,
Yeah.
someone at any point in time in the school has it.
Get ready.
Wow.
You got a few years, but fucking get ready.
Yeah.
Because you'll get it, and then you think you got rid of it, and then it's back.
Comes back.
Because
I
you
never
missed
had.
a
Did
few
you have
eggs.
lice as a kid?
Never.
I never had it either. Heck, my school never even had an outbreak of it. I went to private school though, but we never had an outbreak.
I don't remember anybody having lice, but I also went to private school, so
Yeah.
maybe that's why.
Maybe that's why.
We
Lice,
were all
lice is a
too-
public school thing.
Oh, take that, you goddamn normies. So they're interested, and she watched Force Awakens with me, but
Okay.
she was half in and half out, and
Okay.
I watched Rogue One without her. I told her, I'm like, I watched Rogue One. You probably shouldn't watch it. There's a lot of death.
There is. Now, one thing I did not understand about Star Wars going back to the prequels, the episode 1, 2, and 3, is George Lucas talking about it being a family series. He's like, oh, this is for families. You know, it's rated like PG, PG-13, whatever. And they have so much Senate talks on there and politics. I mean, I can't imagine some 10-year... I mean, especially me at 10, I had no idea what they were talking about when it came to Senates and these hearings, when they were having committees and all this other stuff they were talking about. I thought that was a bad move on his part.
I don't think he really was paying much attention there.
Apparently not. I mean, nothing really screams family movie like Senate hearings. You know.
And then people stabbing each other with laser swords.
Yeah.
The final thing I'll wrap up with this. Are you aware of the band Galactic Empire?
I have heard of Star Wars bands. I haven't heard of that specific one.
Galactic Empire, you need to Google it. They're fucking awesome. They
Are
play
they?
in costume. I don't even know how they do it. But they fucking do it, and they're good.
Okay.
They're fucking really good.
Okay, I'll look them up.
They have a video of them playing the Imperial March in costume, and Vader's like the band leader.
Yeah.
There's no singing, but it's heavy metal Star Wars music.
We should go to Comic-Con together.
You are not the first person to say that, and you're not the first person I'm going to turn down, because Neil likes to go, or has gone, dressed as Ricky from Trailer Park Boys, but more importantly, he's gone dressed as Darth Maul, and he's got a pretty kick-ass costume.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would have a good time, because I would have to hide my boner the entirety of our trip.
That's why you have to wear a Jedi robe or something to hide it.
Well, I wouldn't go dressed as a Star Wars guy.
What would you go dressed as?
I
if
would
you
go
went?
dressed as nothing.
You would just be a normal dude.
Yeah, I just go there and just ogle all the females that are dressed up like sexy comic book characters.
And the fat ones that are dressed up as comic book characters.
No, I would throw tomatoes at them. I'd be like, look at you.
Stop.
There's no way that a
Stop.
Sailor Moon is a size 18, you stupid bitch. Or, hey, you, chubby girl. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Get out of that fucking Catwoman suit.
I don't know what they're seeing. I don't know what they're seeing.
Well, they're not seeing their back fat. I know they're not seeing that.
No, they're not.
Or the fat Harley Quinns. Nothing screams like I threw this together at the last minute while shopping at a Hot Topic like a girl that can't see her own vagina without the use of a hand mirror coming dressed up like somebody out of Batman's Rogue Gallery.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, Jesus.
You just insulted a bunch of people that go to Hot Topic.
That's fine. Fuck that store and fuck those people. I don't need your patronage. Nobody,
Can I help you today?
No one's going to hear this anyway. Interact with the show on Twitter at what do we call it? That is at What Do We Call It. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/What Do We Call It podcast show for the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
I'm JD.
And that's the end.
Yes, on a date we went. Hard to fuck your grandma is.